Welcome to our best of the year countdown episode of the Dread broadcast. No special guests tonight, just a bunch of special people on the panel to talk about our favorite things from the year. So I'm Tim. I'm the host and run the Average Reviews podcast, which we take a break during the holiday season from Halloween until New Year's, and we'll be starting season 4 coming up here soon in January. So looking forward to that. Aaron, go ahead and introduce yourself and say a little bit about you.
Excellent. Thanks for having me again, Tim. Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron. I run A&B Horror Movies on YouTube, where I do a lot of interviews. You can also find me on Instagram at AB Horror Movies and Aaron's Movies 8587. And I can't wait to join and chat with you all once again. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelsey.
Hi, thanks for having me again, Tim. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm stoked that it's like the end of the year. We're almost in 2026. Can you believe it? It's great to be on this best of year panel, and I think we're going to have a lot of great stuff to talk about. And I am Kelsey, as Tim said. You could find me over on YouTube at the channel Slime and Slashers, and I am taking a little bit of a hiatus right now, but I'm going to be back, and I'll be talking all things books and movies and all of that jazz. If it's horror or nostalgia related, that's my jam. So if you like that too, please come and check out my channel. I'd love to have you. And you can find me on Instagram at the handle super kicking it, like the wrestling move super kick. Anyway, super kicking it. I used to like wrestling a lot. Anyway, that's me. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Chris, welcome back.
Dude, thank you again for having me back.
Yeah,
first of
you
all.
were on our inaugural episode.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life got busy. I've been trying to get back on.
No,
Things
we're
have been
glad to have
crazy.
you.
I'm stoked to be back. My name's Chris. I go by Bearded Film Guy on the internet, on Instagram and stuff. I'm the host of the Beyond the Blood podcast, where we discuss genre film audio commentaries. And I'm stoked to be here today just talking about some of my favorite stuff from the year.
Awesome. And we've got Jordan here.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, what's going on? Thank you for having me. I'm Jordan over at the Movie Den on the Tube, and also on Instagram, same thing. I'm happy to be here with a bunch of my buddies. And I just mainly talk physical media, movie related stuff. And I emphasize more on the horror, but I do dabble in other things. But other than that, come check me out.
Yeah, definitely do so. I moved you over because we have both parts of the horror heads here today. So Jerry's already been here, but we have Rich joining. So I'll let you two go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, how's everyone going? I'm Jerry from one half of the Horror Heads. So happy to be back, Tim. Thanks for having us here. We have a podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We review a lot of horror. We have some guests, and we drink a lot. And I'll let Rich kind of fill you in on the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it. I mean, mostly we talk a lot of shit about horror movies and play some drinking games, so it's a lot of fun. We have very relaxed kind of party-ish atmosphere on our show, so definitely check it out. We're pretty much everywhere you could find podcasts. Also, just to plug myself, I'm also an independent filmmaker. I mostly do edgy, sexy, psychological thriller films, and my most recent film, Feral, just came out a couple of weeks ago. It's on Tubi, Roku channel, other places, Amazon, so check it out. Feral. That's it. Nice to meet everybody.
Absolutely. Glad to have you guys both here. All right, Q, you're up.
Hey, thanks for having me back on, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm the movie collector. I'm here on the tubes and also on Instagram. I review a lot of physical media. Love horror, love it to death, but I do dabble a little bit in everything. So come check me out.
All right. And Jeff, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. John Doe Juggalo pretty much everywhere on the internet. I basically just like to hang out and talk about the things I love. If it's media and it's physical, it's what I'm about, no matter what it is, whether it's movies, books, video games, music, it doesn't matter. So if you like to talk about those things, that's what I do.
Awesome. All right, Matthew, second time in a row. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Glad to be back, especially for the best of 2025 and get to hang out with all you brilliant creators. Horror Madness 0055, Instagram and TikTok. Huge fan of and supporter of independent film, physical media, and going and supporting your theaters. Also, a legacy member of Cinema Society Saturday, and I do a weekly series called Creature Madness, where I focus on one of my favorite subgenres, which is creature features. But again, so glad to be back.
Awesome. We're glad you could make it. And Tony, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, nice. It works. All right, cool. Sorry for the tech.
It's all good.
So my name's Tony. I'm the owner of Valoria Video. We're an online movie site. Basically, we focus on boutique label releases, new releases, steelbooks, all that, everything in between. We also sell some shirts and other people. Just happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. We're glad you could make it. Glad the tech issues are working out. So we're going to dive in. We got a lot to cover in this episode. We're going to be counting down our top fives. Everybody brought their own random whatever they wanted to talk about, their favorite things from the year. And then we're all talking our favorite horror movies from the year, whether they were independent releases, straight to Netflix, theatrical, whatever. Your top five. So we're not here to bash anybody's top five. We're just going to hang out and tell you why we thought this earned the place it did. So to get it started, I'm going to go first. I'm going to pick someone to follow me. They're going to pick someone to follow them. Then we're going to keep that order the whole time. All right. So I am doing for my own choices. I am picking music because that's another thing that I love a lot. And so my fifth best of the year, this was so hard to do, guys. It was so hard. I had a harder time picking my top five albums of the year than I did picking my top five movies. My top five movies is really not that difficult. Top five albums, this was a pretty good year for music. So it was pretty challenging. I had to consult my end of year Wrapped and then weigh that against how I actually felt about it. So I did make some changes. But coming in fifth, let's see, where can I? Is Architects with The Sky.
There it is.
And All Between. Oof. This album rocked my spring and summer. It's fast-paced. It's loud. It's a ton of fun. They brought in Jordan Fish, ex Bring Me the Horizon, and they found that awesome balance between massive hooks and face-smashing heaviness. I love this album. There is not a lot of emotional depth for me. I do look for that in music. There's not a lot of that in here, and that's why it falls in the number five spot. But it is so much fun. It is a great album. So
I don't know, man. Black Hole gives me some emotional feelings.
It's there. I'll tell you that it's there. But when I compare it to some of the other stuff coming up, it falls a little bit short on that. And then for my fifth place movie of the year, this one is, I believe it's an independent film. It is thanks to Aaron pointing me out for this one. And I had a blast with this film, but Night of the Reaper.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I really, the beginning, the first like 2/3 of this movie was fine. It was great. It was really well done. But the end of this movie made me immediately want to go back and restart it. Immediately go back and check out what I had just watched again with the new context added at the end. I loved this little film. So those are my two fifth place choices. And then to pick who follows me, I'm going to pick the person who has just narrowly been here more episodes than anyone else. And that is Aaron. I think you are ahead of Kelsey by one.
Oh, no way.
If I believe correctly.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yep.
So I'm visiting my parents. That's why I have a different background. I don't have any of my movies. My wall of movies, it's usually behind me. Otherwise, I'd have all of my physical media films behind me. And I also didn't prepare ahead of time by bringing my top 5 releases for the year. So what I've done when I visit my parents, like most physical media collectors, I bring like 300 movies because I like to have options. So what I've done is I've gone through all the physical copies that I brought and picked out my top 5 favorite ones from the year. And just going with the first one, I've got this new People Under the Stairs.
You bring them in cases?
Of course.
I'm sorry. I'm picturing you traveling like with the 2005
No, I have like
CD
big ass,
wallet.
big ass bags of movies.
You have a CD wallet and you just pull them out. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Then they might get scratched, right? You don't want anything to
That's
happen
true.
to them. So I just picked up this Scream Factory, People Under the Stairs Steelbook, which is amazing. Let me open it up. I'll show you the back of it. I'm sure some of the folks on here have it as well. And I love this film. So that's my first pick for my personal choice. And then my top 5 movies from the year. My 5th choice is Good Boy, because I thought it was fantastic. It's all told from the dog's perspective. I think I've seen it 5 times now, and I love it even more each time. Smart. It's such a clever film. And I can't wait to see what other films it might inspire. Maybe we'll get some horror movies from cats or hamsters. I don't know. So my pick is Good Boy, and then my personal pick is the People Under the Stairs Steelbook.
Awesome.
I guess why don't we just go in order? So Kelsey, you're next to me if you want to jump in and go next.
Sure. I am excited. So my personal list is going to be a top 5 new to me non 2025 watches. So anything that I've watched this year that is a first time watch that is not from this year, which by the way, is the majority of what I watch. I watch a lot of 90s, 80s, 70s things, and my movie watching has been really great this year in terms of numbers, so I'm excited to give this list. My number 5 is a movie called Corpse Mania from 1981. It is a Hong Kong film done by the Shaw Brothers. And this is my introduction to the production company, the Shaw Brothers. And if you guys didn't know, Shaw Brothers, it's like a famous Hong Kong production company. Made a lot of great kung fu movies, but also made some horror movies as well. And this really kind of introduced me to their horror films, and it kind of started me down a rabbit hole. And I think it might be my new thing, the new thing I'm going to get into coming up soon in 2026. But Corpse Mania was my introduction. I actually heard my friend Cameron Chaney, who we've had on here on the
last month.
podcast.
Yeah,
he's great. He's an author, and he has a channel at the channel Library Macabre. He talked about it, and he said it was like a Giallo-esque Hong Kong film. And I said, Giallo-esque? But it's not even Italian? Hell yeah. Now, of course, there are a lot of non-Italian Giallo movies, but this one did not disappoint. I freaking loved it. It's so sleazy. There's like a necrophiliac killer going around, and do you get a guy fondling some dead naked body? Yeah, but it's done so artfully that you're like, I don't even care that this is super creepy. Super stylistic. The colors incredible. I had a blast with it. Highly recommend. Just a lot of fun. A really, really good time. So that's my personal number 5 favorite new to me watch. And number 5 of 2025 releases, it's going to seem like I'm copying, but I swear I'm not. My number 5 is also Good Boy. I love the performance of Indy. In fact, to me, I didn't love the story, the overall story as much. Like, I thought it was decent, but what put it over the top was the dog, Indy's performance. I just thought, how is this possible that this is real? That this dog is actually acting, and his facial expressions were just so darling, and my cat was even transfixed. I have a cat named Fizzy. His full name is Fizzgig, like the little dog creature from the Dark Crystal. But he actually was watching it. I have got footage of him watching it. Like, he was so transfixed by Indy. He was like in love with Indy, just like I was. So anyway, number 5, Good Boy, just because Indy is such a good boy.
It reminds me of Scrooged, which just watched that because Christmas. But when the executive is like, we need to make TV for dogs and cats. And yeah. All right, Kelsey, who's following you?
All right, let's go with Jordan.
Ooh, okay. Perfect. Well, no surprise here. My top 5 is going to be physical media releases of this year. And to be honest, this was incredibly hard for me to pick in order my top 5. So I'm cheating a little bit. These are just not going to be in order. I'm sorry, but they're just going to be 5 of some of my favorite releases that we got this year. And we're going to go with this right here. This is from Ignite Films. Earlier this year, they put out Reanimator. Definitely, I think this is an incredible release. Why? Well, it's the first time, obviously, it's in 4K, but what Ignite Films are able to do, getting like Barbara Crampton, back, and all the other different people, Brian Usna back to have some conversations. The cinema or the editor came back. It was just really, really cool. There's a couple documentaries in here actually. So I just feel like as much stuff as much stuff that you're getting in this it's amazing. I was really impressed with this, and yeah, that's going to be my number 5. But as far as movies this year, I think that one was tougher for me. And I did a little last minute pivot after hearing Tim your pick, because you went with kind of a not a widely released film, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go with this one, Brute 1976, and it's funny. Aaron also recommended that one to me, and it just so
I love that
happened
movie.
Vinegar
It's so
Syndrome put
good.
that out. But I love the movie. It's a fun love letter to 70s horror, mainly Texas Chainsaw, and what was the other one? The Hills Have Eyes. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, you really should, especially if you like 70s horror. It's a fun time watch. So those are my 2 for my top 5 of each category.
Awesome. Who you picking?
I'm gonna go with Chris. Let's see what you got, Chris.
All right.
Well, I want to say first, Kelsey, what a great way to get into Shaw Brothers with Corpse Mania. That movie's fucking insane.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad you agree. Thank you.
I wish you many blessings continuing into the Shawscope horror realm. It's you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So for my personal top 5, I wanted to kind of discuss some of my favorite bonus features released in physical media this year. I consider myself a little bit of an expert on them, so I just kind of wanted to talk about some favorites. And the first one I'm going to go with, my number 5, is sort of a shameless plug. My podcast, Beyond the Blood, is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, who is owned by Ryan, who runs The Disconnected, as well as Dr. Will Dotson. And they had an incredible opportunity this year to be a part of the new Toxic Avenger release. And with that, they did not a visual essay, but sort of a visual bonus feature called Toxic Shock with Tiffany Shepis. It's on all releases of the 2023 Toxic Avenger. It's really kind of 10 minutes of insanity with Tiffany Shepis from Toxic Avenger 4. It's Dr. Will Dotson giving his best like patriotic president voice over imagery of blood and guts and eagles flying across American flags. It's one of the most fun kind of entry level bonus features I've ever seen. So that's going to be my number 5 for my personal pick. And then for 2025 movies, I have to admit, I haven't seen a lot. So this was a little bit of a tough thing for me to do. I'm not really a new movie guy, but for number 5, I had to go with my man Osgood Perkins and The Monkey. To be 100% clear, I forgot that came out this year. I thought that was like 3 years ago. Turns out I was wrong.
It's been a long year.
It's been a long year. Honestly, man, when it comes to The Monkey, the popcorn bucket really helped my enjoyment of the movie, because that bucket is the best one released this year, in my opinion. But I love when a movie just goes for it. It's not trying to be anything it's not. For 90 minutes, the movie is pure insanity. There's women exploding in pools. There's people getting hit with bowling balls, buses of cheerleaders being decapitated. It's all out insanity. Never once did I question any plot lines or character motives. I was just able to shut up and have fun for 90 minutes. So I thought that deserved a place, at the number 5 spot for the year.
Awesome. Who's following?
You know what? I'm going to go with my man Q.
All right.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do top 5 of physical media releases of my favorites that I really loved, and I'm gonna agree with Jordan. This was my number 5, and that was the Reanimator release from Ignite Films. Loved everything about this release. I mean, they did such a great job on the transfer itself, and they packed it heavy with a lot of great special features. But one of the things I was really hoping out on that I would get with it this year was that signed poster that, they were advertising for lucky people that would have gotten it, but I never got it. So made up for it when I went to Scarefest and got Bruce Abbott,
Oh,
Jeffrey
nice.
Combs, and Barbara Crampton to sign this for me. So,
Nice.
Nice.
but yeah, that's my fifth as far as like favorite physical media release, and my fifth favorite movie. And just like with Chris, I didn't watch a ton of new stuff this year. I watched a lot of like um old stuff that's been re-released. But I would say number five for me, even though it's not a full-blown horror film, was Sinners. I love Sinners. I love the way it was shot. I love the story about the twin brothers. The story about the vampires, and also the fun aspect of it was just going through watching the endless videos about all of these conspiracy theories about the story itself. So I thought that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Good choices. Who's following Q?
I'm gonna go with my bro Jeff.
All right. So I didn't think anybody else would talk about this, so I came with my top 5 video games of the year.
Oh, right.
And my number 5 is actually an old game that was redone this year, but I've been having a lot of fun playing this with my youngest son, and that's Gears of War Remaster. There's even some horror elements to this, but they basically took like my favorite game of all time and just made it better. I bought a high definition TV strictly for this game almost 20 years ago. It was the reason why I went flat screen to begin with. And now I get to sit down and enjoy it with my young kid who can actually play it better than me. But it was a lot of fun, and now it's an Xbox game that's everywhere. So it doesn't matter what you play on, you can play it anywhere. And for my number 5 movie, I didn't watch a lot of movies this year either. I think I only watched like 7 horror movies in total. So for my number 5, I'm going to go with one that was released to us this year, and that's going to be The Toxic Avenger. Even though I know it's technically not 2025, that I grew up a trauma kid and loved trauma movies just in general. So it just hit every mark perfect for me in that aspect. And the only reason I don't own it is because I want that Umbrella Tox box set that'll just have it included with all the others anyways. So I just hold off and get my favorite editions later. But that movie, top notch for me.
Awesome. Who's following you?
We're going to go with Rich.
Hey everybody! So for top 5 this year, I picked the top 5 acting performances in a horror film.
Ooh.
And for my number 5 choice, I'm going with Mia Goth from Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. She's not in the movie a ton, but she is really kind of what holds the movie together and pushes the plot forward. And I would say the scenes that she is in are the ones that really evoke somewhat the most emotion of the movie. I thought that movie was really beautifully shot. It's a little long, right? And it wasn't what I expected, but just like everybody in that movie is really incredible. And I think she, in the parts that she's in, is just my favorite parts of that movie. For my number 5 horror film of the year, I'm going with Final Destination Bloodlines. And I'm a fan of the franchise in general, and but I didn't realize how big of a fan I was until I saw this new one. And I thought it was really interesting how they took, it's like the 6th movie in this pretty much dead franchise, and to me it's the best one. It's like so entertaining. It just really just keeps you on the edge of your seat. The opening 20 minutes is one of the most wildest cold opens to a movie I've ever seen. And again, it's just, I went in with really low expectations because how are they going to make, like, basically all the Final Destination movies are exactly the same thing, and they did something very different with the 6th one, but still kept really true to the franchise. So that's my pick. Highly recommend that movie. It's a lot of fun.
I want to say, I hope Mia Goth's costume designer for Frankenstein wins every award, because every color she wears in that movie is stunning.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I'm going to hand it over to my co-host, Jerry.
All right.
All right, makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, I was gonna pick like my top 5 bourbons and then drink them, but I figured it was gonna be like a really long night if I did that. So I opted against that. So since we're just coming out of the season, I'm doing top 5 holiday horrors. So nice. So I went with for number 5, I picked a different holiday. I went with Thanksgiving from Eli Roth, and to me, I feel like this was like really like the return of holiday horror. It was the return of Eli Roth for me. I felt like this is the movie we all needed at that exact time. It was fast, funny, bloody. I mean, there was like great kills. It felt a lot like Final Destination at times with like, those chain reaction kills. And they introduced like a pretty cool new slasher in John Carver. And I really hope they do some more. So I don't know what the plans are because I didn't look that deep into it, but I really enjoyed that film. And then for my top 5 films of 2025, I'm going to say there was a lot of good horror in 2025, but I mean, I had a hard time kind of sifting through this and finding out like the ones that I like the best. So it's going to be a little bit different here, but I went with another holiday horror. Apparently I like them. I went with Hard Eyes. I thought this was, it was like early 2025. I love Josh Rubin, director. He's a great actor. I think this is like a really original plot. I mean, usually killers and slashers, they're, like regional or local. This one's national. He could travel town to town and basically take out couples. I think the killer looks great. I thought it was a good mask. It was campy as hell. The whole entire movie is based on a mistake. I think that's hysterical. I really enjoyed that. So I don't take my films too seriously. So this one, is definitely my type of film. So that's my number 5.
Awesome. We have Tony and Matthew left.
Yeah, I'll go with Tony.
All right, cool. So, I'm kind of like in the same boat. And as far as like the movies, this year I didn't have much time to watch a whole lot of movies. So I know Frankenstein's a good one I hear about a lot. Good Boy's another one, so it's on my list. But the ones that I did watch, I'll go into those. So I would say for my number 5, I'd have to go with 28 Years Later. Just a fun movie, I love the whole 28 Days Later franchise. Gory, the whole like zombie thing. I like movies with zombies and stuff like that. A lot of like interesting, like funny moments too, which I definitely enjoyed. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it talks about that one particular zombie with certain we'll call we'll just leave it at that. I don't know.
Yes, you can't miss it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Had fun with it, so that's gonna be my number 5. And as far as my favorites, I'm gonna have to, big surprise, go with physical. So for my number 5, and I actually have this in stock, so I'll do a little shameless plug here. You guys could see it here. I had to switch to my phone to make this work. So this is gonna be Return to the Living Dead. From Arrow. Let's see here. There it is. It's got some beautiful, beautiful artwork, man. I really love this artist. Really cool guy too. He does a lot of different art movies from like Shout and labels. Super talented guy. I've seen this movie like so many times. Actually, as I was watching this one, I was actually working on shipping. So I couldn't focus too much, but I just love it, man. It's like a fun, kind of like 80s movie. It's got everything in it, I guess. A little bit of comedy, a little bit of, and the transfer looks great. I mean, it does look really nice. It didn't get into all the bonus features, but there's definitely quite a bit in there. And it just looks really good for like a 4K transfer. So, and that's gonna be my number 5.
Awesome. All right, you don't really get a pick, but Matthew, last but certainly not least, Matthew.
All right. Well, I went with something a little bit different for my top 5 of the year. I went with collectibles. So I have been collecting Funko Pops since about 2011. And amazingly enough, I have 1,600. So it's very hard to pick top 5. One of them is a new edition. And this movie was a big hit for me in 2024. I got the chance to meet Alicia Ware from Abigail, and I got her autograph at Texas Frightmare Weekend, and she put one of my favorite quotes of the movie on there, which was, "I like to play with my food." So this one definitely went into my top 5. I love it when child actors are really effective, and I just enjoy Radio Silence, and looking forward to Ready or Not 2 next year. So from them. My top 5. So my number 5 movie of the year is going to be a found footage true crime mockumentary called Strange Harvest. Absolutely adored this movie. What I liked about it, obviously being low budget and independent, I felt like as they were interviewing and filming this mockumentary, that it felt more realistic because they're interviewing people on the street, interviewing these detectives, and it shouldn't have felt polished. And I thought Strange Harvest pulled that off. I thought we got a really good, unique villain with Mr. Shiny and how his ritualistic killings span decades. I'm kind of on the other side of the spectrum. My list was really hard because I watched over 300 films in 2025. So nailing down my top 10 was very, very tough. But Strange Harvest, highly recommend. Independent, found footage, brilliant film.
Great stuff. All right. I am going to jump into my number 4 so we can keep this moving along here. But number 4 is Coheed and Cambria's Vaxis 3, Father of Make Believe. So I love this record for its emotional gut punch. This is it really focuses on fatherhood and growing old with the person you love. And that's weaved into this massive sci-fi story that's a little bit of the detriment at 57 minutes long and being the third part of a long ongoing series. It's a little bit harder to get into for some people. It also wears on in the middle. It dips a little bit for repeated listens, but I love the cinematic nature of, I mean, the vinyl set is beautiful as well, but I love this record a lot. So that's my 4th place record for the year, Coheed and Cambria's Father of Make Believe.
Tim, I don't know anyone else who likes Coheed. That's so great that you like them too. That would be the band that I've probably seen live the most is Coheed. So that's
really
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this record. And then my 4th place movie is actually I'm following Chris here. The Monkey, man. I wasn't scared in a horror movie, but I laughed harder at that movie than any movie this year. Period. I thought it was so much fun. Yeah, the third act is a little bit wonky, but it kept me laughing the entire time. I was invested in the story. I loved the total, maybe not total 180, but going from long legs to the monkey. Nice, showing some of Osgood's flexibility. So I really enjoyed the monkey. So Aaron, back to you.
Cool. Over to me. Good choices there, Tim. Okay, so I'm going to cheat a little bit here. One thing I like to do when I visit my parents is go to the Super Walmart because they live in a very small town that's in the middle of nowhere in New York State. And I don't think there are a lot of horror collectors here, so I like going to see what they have. So I found these Trick or Treat Studio collectibles. First one, Art the Clown Costume Shop. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but I got this one. And I also picked up the Pale Girl, which I was very excited to find. Here, what if I do this? Anyway, I'm just sort of geeking out a little bit. I was just excited to share these, and I was excited to find them on the shelves in the wild. So those are the 2 things that I picked up. I will go back to physical media for the next time around. My next movie choice is Traumatica by Pierre Sigaridis, which I absolutely loved. The structure of that is phenomenal. It really makes you think. I love that it jumps over time. I also love his Two Witches films. If you haven't seen that one, check out Two Witches. And he has a new movie coming out, I believe early next year, called Frankie Maniac Woman. And it is so damn good. Think of a female version of the Maniac from, I believe, Maniac from 1980. So good. So that's my pick. Number 4 is Traumatica.
Traumatica was awesome.
So good, right?
You know, it's funny. I couldn't see that in the local theaters. They didn't release it near me. I reached out to the director and he gave me a screener, and that meant the world to me to get that movie because it was fantastic.
Yes. Oh, he's awesome. And imagine having to say his last name, but I think I perfected it. Sigaridis. I did get some tips from him. All right, there you go. Those are my picks.
All right, I'm next, I guess. I am going to go with, again, this is my top 5 favorite new to me watches that are from any other year but this year. So of course, I'm going with another old school pick. This is from 1972. Who Saw Her Die? This is the Arrow release, even though I streamed it when I watched it this year. I can't wait to go back and revisit this one on this nice disc one day. But yeah, this is great. So a father loses his daughter randomly, and he has to try to figure out what happened to her, where did she go, and there's kind of more going on. And what I love about this is a giallo. I'm a big fan. This is like my newest obsession, is really just really diving deep into giallo movies. But I love this one because, like many gialli, this one has great cinematography, great beautiful scenery. It's got a freaking awesome score, just a lot of atmosphere. And there was something about this one. It's a slow burn, but something about the way it was shot really spoke to me. So I really liked this one. Highly recommend if you do like giallo movies. I streamed this on my Discord, and a lot of people seem to like it. So it wasn't just me who liked it. So that one was my number 4 for that. And my number 4 2025 release. Now, I will give this kind of qualifier because other people said the same thing. I have not watched a lot of 2025 releases, and almost all of the 2025 releases I have watched are horror. But this one, I'm cheating a little bit because this is really more of a thriller. However, I thought the acting job was so good, I could not put it on my favorites list from releases for this year. Is Dead of Winter, starring Emma Thompson. And again, it's more of a thriller, but it does have some horror elements. I mean, you'd be scared, you'd be terrified if you were in the middle of nowhere and you came across like a kidnapping situation. And that's basically the very loose premise. More happens. There's some high emotional stuff that happens in the film that I really liked. Her performance was incredible, really underrated. I haven't heard anyone talk about this movie, and I just kind of stumbled upon it when I was looking for winter, like horror or winter scary movies. I really loved it. Highly recommend. And that's it.
Okay, I think I'm next. Cool. So
Yes, you are.
okay, my what are we? So 5. So number 4 of releases of this year. I just got this in the other day. Started watching it. But from Umbrella, their release of Lake Mungo. This release here, what put this on already as one of my favorite releases of 2025 is the 3 hour, it's like 3 hour 40 minutes. It's something like that, documentary on the film itself, and the movie's only an hour and a half, which is pretty wild. But this release, it's just incredible. One, the artwork, I love the whole wraparound artwork it's got going for it. Just very simple on the front. The 4K, one could argue it didn't really need a 4K, being how it was shot like a documentary. Now, the interview scenes, yeah, I mean, it looks good in 4K, but of course, the different found footage shots, it's grainy as hell. But it's got, I mean, some awesome booklets in here. You're getting a the brother in the movie, I believe is his name Matt. Yeah, Matt. His photo book is in here, which is really cool. So it's got different shots that he would have taken. So I really already, this is shot up to like my favorite of the year. Really excited to have this. I'll set that over there. And then my number 4 pick for movie of the year, kind of what Tony said, we're going to go with 28 years later. Danny Boyle returning to this 28 franchise. I really enjoyed it. I know it was kind of a sidestep to what days and weeks are, but to me, I loved the idea of we are now set in this time where so much stuff has happened. We don't really know. So that's kind of the hard part I can see is there's a lot of things that most likely happen. Now they're on this island. I love the idea of the low rising tide and the that monster. I can't remember what they call that zombie in that movie. But also the cinematography of that movie, the way they did with the iPhones, the way they shot it, I think is just incredible. So that's I'm going to put that as my number 4 for this year, is going to be 28 years later.
Damn, I got to follow Jordan. This is going to be tough.
Yep, you're up next.
Damn. Okay, so I tried to pick kind of a wide range of different bonus features to cover, like kind of different types. Scream Factory kind of did the Lord's work this year and put out the Mario Bava collection, which was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite releases of the year. And part of that is a film of his from 1966 that was kind of his return back to more gothic roots. And that's Kill Baby Kill. And this is an incredibly interesting movie that has inspired so much of what we know and love from modern film. It taps into the kind of haunted children, the haunted doll. There's a lot of great visual stuff in this movie. It's kind of Bava in top form. And the movie had pretty much no budget, all the money left halfway through filming. And it's incredible that it even got finished. But for this release in particular, there's 2 brand new audio commentaries. One of them is with Megan Navarro, which is the one I'm picking for this. Just absolutely incredible insight on a movie that has very little information out and about on it. It's very small Wikipedia page. Everybody just kind of copy and paste the same information across various forums and websites anytime they're discussing Bava. And she gave a ton of great insight I really appreciated. I also love audio commentaries where they can kind of break away from the professional appearance and be like, man, don't you just love this shit? And then go right back into it, which is what she does. So wanted to shout out Megan Navarro and her audio commentary on Kill Baby Kill. And then for number 4, favorite movie of the year, I had to go with Final Destination Bloodlines. The fact that the 6th movie in a franchise is one of the best is kind of remarkable. But this movie also feels like somebody tried. Like there's real effort put in. There's a great atmosphere. There's incredible production design. Like the house of the grandmother is one of the craziest looking half practical sets I've seen in a movie in the past couple of years. The kills are creative, but it also never loses that sense of fun. And it really kind of leans into the idea that this is fucking ridiculous, but we're gonna take it there, and it really goes for it and kind of brings the entire franchise around a really unique way in the end. And I really admired it. I had a ton of fun with it. I felt like it kind of, came and went amidst a lot of the franchises being talked about. But shout out to them for really knocking it out of the park with Bloodlines.
All right. So my fourth favorite physical release that came out this year, and I almost forgot all about this till I went down the line, but it was Grindhouse Releasing's release of The Beyond. Really loved what they done with this. And they even kind of designed this with just like the book from in the movie, which I thought was pretty unique. So that was my fourth favorite of the year. And I would probably say my fourth favorite film is Together. I don't know if anyone's seen Together, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about that movie. But man, I was shocked just watching, Allison Brie and Dave Franco, even though they're a real life couple. Just watching their chemistry on screen was incredible. And also finding out most of those effects in the movie was practical, which was awesome. So I really enjoyed Together. And if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
It's on my list.
I loved it. It's so good. It's good.
It's so good.
All right, I think Jeff was next.
All right, so for my 4th game, this one requires a friend, and that is Split Fiction. It's a sci-fi game that's basically your 2 characters that time warp and like dimension warp. So it has all these different genres of game. At one point, you play as pigs, and at the end of it, you're cut up and cooked, and you're a sandwich. If it can go there, it goes there. But if you have a significant other where you guys like to sit down and play games together, you can play it. I had a lot of fun playing this one with my wife, but even if you don't have someone to sit down and play with you, it comes with what they call a friend pass. So that way you can go online and play with another friend as well, because you have to play it with 2. The whole basis of the game is you can't finish any one particular part of the game without someone else.
Quick question, Jeff. Is that game made by the same person who did It Takes Two?
Yes, and
Okay.
Another Way Out. So they particularly focus on cooperative games. So, and my number 4 film is going to be Sinners. I absolutely loved the way that it just did the complete flip on the genre about halfway through it. Like, you're watching it, and I'm just kind of waiting for when it becomes a horror movie, and then it just becomes a horror movie. I had a really fun time with it. Me and my wife both did. We were not expecting that from the Black Panther director, but I had a lot of fun with it. So that's going to be my number 4, Sinners.
It is a great movie. I believe Rich is next.
So my 4th best performance in a horror film, I'm going to go with Dakota Fanning in Vicious. Now, I wasn't like a huge fan of this movie, to be honest with you, and I do need to give it a rewatch because I know like other people have told me they really like it. I got to really get back into it, but she's just really good in this film and really holds it together. Just plays this character that's already kind of down, and then she just goes through this complete like psychological breakdown as she deals with some of the consequences that come across as part of the film. And I thought she just did like a really amazing job with it. It really, like, she makes the whole film. And then my number 4 top movie of 2025, I'm going to go with Until Dawn, which is a horror film that's based on I guess, an older PlayStation game. Now, I've never played the game before, so I had no real reference going into this movie. And because it's a video game adaptation, I thought I was going to hate this film, but man, is it cinema? No. Is it like, are there great performances? But it's just a fun, entertaining film. There's some things that happen in this movie that were completely unexpected. The monsters are cool. The gore is cool. Heads explode. It's just a fun movie, and I think it's just one of those that got overlooked this year. But yeah, I really liked Until Dawn. So if you want to watch something that's just gonna be like 100 minutes of just fun, I'd watch that movie.
I highly recommend the video game, by the way. It's awesome.
Very awesome.
Yeah, after watching the movie, like, I definitely would like to check it out because it's a great concept for a film. So yeah, I want to check that out. So I think Jerry is next.
Yeah, I'm thinking about switching to the bourbon now and just start chugging, see what happens. But I'll keep it with the holiday horror. So for number 4, I'm going with The Apology. It's a 2022 film from Alison Locke. Basically takes place on Christmas Eve of this woman whose daughter had disappeared about 20 years ago when her strange kind of ex-brother-in-law shows up unannounced, and he wants to get something off his chest. You kind of know where this film is going to go, but I really think the performances really makes this like a great film. It has amazing atmosphere and tension. It's cold. There's a thundering snowstorm. I mean, which is so cool. You feel the isolation. You feel the sound deadening of the storm. I mean, it's just a really cool film if you like want just like a vibe, and you just like kind of like want to cuddle up and watch a film. Super slow burn, but I think the payoff is pretty good. Janine Garofalo has like a small kind of B part, but I think she's memorable. I think she's pretty good. So I think it's worth the watch. So that's my number 4 holiday horror. And for 2025, I have shitty taste. So, I'll just apologize to everyone right now. My number 4 film is 825 Forest Road. I really like this film. I think what's important to me when it comes to like top films is like rewatchability. And if I could keep watching something over and over again, still be entertained by it, it's a good film. But I already watched this like 3 times this year, so I know I'm feeling it. I mean, it's a super small budget, but I think they did really good with it. It's a supernatural film. Sometimes in like these big budget supernatural films, they try to do too much or they show you too much, and it really loses that creepy factor. And I think this film did just about as much as they could do with what they had, and it worked. I think they show enough, and I think it's scary. That doesn't happen often, so I'm going with that. Number 4, 825 Forest Road. I think Tony was next.
Yeah. Is Tony there?
All right. And for my number 4, you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Just making sure. All right. For my number 4, this one, it was kind of like not controversial, but it seemed to get like not the best reviews, but I personally really enjoyed it. I was able to finally this one I saw in the theaters, and I hadn't been able to see any movie in a long time at the theater, so it was really nice to go to the theater and enjoy a movie. But that's basically Black Phone 2. I do like Black Phone 1 better, but it was fun, man. I had a good time with it. You know, in the beginning it's kind of like slow, and I think maybe that's what possibly turned some people off. But then I feel like once it gets going, it really gets going, and then you get like really involved in the story and like where it's, you know, and it's very original in plot. I like the atmosphere, the suspense. I thought it was really good. I read somewhere in the reviews that it has kind of a little bit of like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of like vibe to it. At first I was like, how could that be? But once you're watching and as the film progresses, like, you know, I could definitely see that. So I really like Black Phone 2. I think everybody should check it out. I wish I could show you guys the movie, but it's the steelbook hasn't come out yet, so I can't show that one off. And then for the physical media release, just shift my phone a little bit here. My number
Your
four.
camera's black.
My camera's black?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Let me see.
I mean, we can still hear you, so you can still tell it, but
oh boy,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this guys are not with me. I'll try to log back in. But my number 4 pick is gonna be Martyrs. That's a tough watch, man, but it's um French extreme horror cinema, right there with like Frontiers and arguably probably the best one out of that whole genre. It's a beautiful release. Sucks my camera. Maybe I'll show it if I get my camera back.
Yeah.
But really, really nice artwork. This actually came out from Second Sight. It's got a lot of you know, special features, and it's a tough watch, man. But I really that movie to anybody. If you like horror and just like extreme horror, especially like French horror, you got to watch that one.
Yeah, Martyrs is my
So-
favorite
Hell
old-time
yeah.
horror film. I love that movie.
Yeah. Fantastic release too. I did not bring it to my parents because I don't think my elderly mother would appreciate that. He's a good sport. You never know.
Matthew, it's all you.
All right. So for my fourth one is definitely from a very divisive film. One I think is a masterpiece. Even Stephen King doesn't like it, but I have the Grady Twins, and this was a limited piece that was very, very hard to find. Obviously, with the shotgun blast and everything like that. So I'm very glad to have that in the collection. Like I said, I always want to talk about the movie as well. I adore The Shining, and I adore the book. My number 4 is also 28 years later. What else can be said? Thought it was beautifully shot. I think this is Danny Boyle taking his filmmaking to the next level. I think partnering up with Alex Garland was a win. I thought there were some very emotional scenes, and especially scenes with humanity in them. And the obviously we still have the fast zombie, the alpha zombie in this movie was impressive in many ways. But I am excited to see where the Bone Temple goes next year. So 28 years later, absolutely top 5. It's my number 4 of the year.
Awesome. On to number 3. I do not have a vinyl to show for this one because it's a band that I haven't listened to in probably over a decade. Growing up the son of a pastor, there was only certain music allowed in the house, and Demon Hunter was a staple of those early. And then this year, Demon Hunter released, I think their 17th, I don't know, maybe 11th. It's a large number. They dropped There Was a Light There or Here. And it is a lot to do with the lead singer reflecting on the loss and the life of his mother. And it is a heavy thematic album. It is excellent divorced dad metal. It is just like, it is good stuff. I haven't listened, like I said, I haven't listened to Demon Hunter in probably over a decade, and this album is my 3rd favorite of the year. It is really good. It's 3rd because there is no fun on this album. It is pure emotion from beginning to end. There's nothing that makes me want to just like smash. No, it is heartfelt, beautiful stuff. And then my 3rd favorite movie of the year goes to Del Toro's Frankenstein. So it is probably the best looking movie I saw all year. It is gorgeous in every single frame. The acting is fantastic, and it is only in 3rd place because like Rich said, I think it is just a little too long. I think it is just a little too long, but I love everything about it. On to you, Aaron.
Awesome. Cool. Over to me. Let's see. So next up, what do I do first? I have the Second Sight edition of Reanimator, which I just picked up. I'm sure a bunch of folks on here have it as well, but I think it's quite awesome. I don't have the other edition, Jordan. I think you showed it. What is it? Ignite Films. I don't have that one. So I don't know how this compares to that, but I love Second Sight, and I think it's a pretty awesome edition. So that's one that I brought with me. And then for a favorite film, number 3, I'm going with an Australian film called Nightfall, A Paranormal Investigation, directed by Miles McEwen and Ripley Stevens, which I thought was fantastic. It's creepy. It's filmed in a very unique way, very unsettling moments toward the end. I don't know if it's out yet. I know it came out this year. It was at festivals. I'm not sure if it's streaming yet, but when it does, make sure you check it out. Again, it's Nightfall, A Paranormal Investigation. I absolutely loved it.
Hey, Aaron, do me a favor. Let me know what your elderly grandmother thinks of the Dr. Hill Barbara Crampton scene. I would love to hear feedback on that.
This one? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell her it's a Christmas movie and put it on.
Okay.
Right, that's what I've got.
Great picks, Aaron. I am going with my number 3 favorite new to me watch, which I'm really excited about, Cemetery Man. Yeah. And I freaking love this film. It's kind of hard to describe. I also love a lot of other films from this director. I always butcher his name. Michele Suave? I can't even remember. Anyway, I Googled it a while ago, but I haven't Googled it in a while. But this director freaking... he put out some bangers, man, especially back in the day. This is from 1994. It's really surreal. It's really quirky. It's really weird. You got this cemetery caretaker, and they don't explain why, but people are coming back from the dead at the cemetery he works at, and he's got to take care of them. And there's a lot more to it than that. There's even some romance in it, but really weird romance. Anyway, it's just weird, but in the best way. And actually, this would be a great film club pick if anyone runs film clubs and likes to have discussions. I think this could be a really thought-provoking movie to talk about. And I almost wish I had this as one of my, because I have a film club called the Midnight Film Society. I also have a book club by the same name, but it's just Book Society. Anyway, I think this would be a great pick to talk about with others because you could really break it down, and some of like the zany weird things you can kind of give bigger meaning to and, you know, talk about and get all philosophical and shit. Anyway, hell yeah, this was awesome. And I can't believe I hadn't seen it till this year, but I'm in my like Italian horror era. So whatever. All right. My number 3, 2025 release. And again, just want to reiterate, I've only seen about 7 total 2025 horror releases, but this one was great. This one was like a 5-star for me. Sinners is my number 3. And my favorite part, I freaking I freaked out. The awesome Irish freaking song, The Rocky Road to Dublin, played, and I was like, I can't believe they're playing this song. It's so good. If you've never heard the song before, it's like a traditional like Irish song. Lots of bands have covered it, especially like Celtic punk bands, and I'm really into Celtic punk. Think bands like Flogging Molly or the Dropkick Murphys, but I like a band from Chicago called the Tossers, and if you want to hear another version of that song, I would totally recommend going and looking up the Tossers version of The Rocky Road to Dublin. And that was my favorite part of Sinners, but I thought the whole thing was great. I thought it was a really great mix of like emotion, action. It also had great horror as well. It just had it all. It was a really great, I would say more mainstream horror movie. Like I could see it appealing to the masses more than the standard kind of more independent horror movie would.
I just want to add on Cemetery Man, my favorite thing to talk about with that movie is how there's a moment when a school bus full of children crash and die. And at the funeral scene that follows, the children who did not die are singing a song about how they should not have gone on the field trip or they would have died in the school bus crash. Just, you know, yeah, it's a great detail.
It's so good. Like there's so many small things. And like I said, I think it'd be great to dissect with a group of people or with a friend or it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Cemetery Man is a perfect pick. Chris probably correct me. I think it's Michele Soave.
Yeah, it's Michele.
Michele. I always get it wrong. Thank you.
It's like almost if an Italian director did their take on Evil Dead. That's how I always saw it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so my number 3 pick is going to be from Grindhouse releasing The Beyond. This new 4K I think is incredible. You're getting kind of 2 cuts, but really 3 because you're getting one with the brand new composer's cut where the composer actually redid the whole score for the entire movie. And so you got both of those cuts of the film with the 2 different scores. Plus, it is called the 7 Doors of Death version of this film. You're getting that, and you're getting the soundtrack in here. I know Q already showed off the incredible book like that it came with, which is awesome. I mean, this thing, I wanted to say it had 6 discs in this. So this release is incredible. Highly, highly recommend. If you guys don't have this, I think this is a must own. But for my number 3 for films released this year, I'm going to go with this adaptation of a Stephen King short, The Long Walk. This film, I thought I was blown away. And I have never read this book, but it's so crazy to see the director from one of the Hunger Games films come and do this. What I love about this is the story building and the relationship, that journey we are going on with the 2 main characters. Even though they know where it's going to end, they still want to be able to have someone to hold on to till that bitter end. And I heard the ending on this is quite a bit different than the book. I don't know. I haven't read it, but that is definitely one of my favorites of this year was The Long Walk. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was an incredible film.
All right. So I'm going to talk about some William Friedkin for a second because Vinegar Syndrome blessed not only Friedkin fans, but CSI Miami fans this year with Jade on 4K, which is a very underseen mid-90s thriller. Kind of toss a new genre in here. Vinegar Syndrome always knocks it out of the park. I'm not the biggest VS collector, but releases like these are pretty incredible. The movie looks phenomenal. But on this disc, there is a bonus feature called Hysterical Blindness, and it is an interview with a frequent Friedkin editor, Augie Hess, and his co-editor, Darren Navarro. And it's about 20 minutes long, and it's pretty much them talking the nicest shit on William Friedkin and how much of a pain in the ass he is. And the great thing about interviews like this is that it's not coming from an EPK package that's supervised by a studio. I know that Paramount kind of had some say in the bonus features here, but this interview was a ton of fun to just kind of hear about how insane Friedkin was about detail and very specific storytelling elements. And I think it's genuinely an interview that not just changes your view on the movie you watched, but the rest of the filmmaker's filmography as well. So I kind of consider it essential viewing. So that's my number 3 for my personal list.
Dude, I love that special feature, man. It had me smiling from ear to ear because you hear about all those horror stories about working with William Friedkin, and they had nothing but the greatest things to say about him. I loved it.
Yeah. It's like when I'm like talking shit in front of my boss, but like I'm not saying it directly. I'm just like, yeah, you know how you get on my back. I'm just kidding. That's pretty much what they do the entire time. But for my number 3 favorite movie for the year, I'm gonna go with Bring Her Back. This is Danny and Michael Philippou from Talk to Me. I think the thing that I admire here is their ability to just go full on misery for almost 120 minutes. They give you zero room to breathe. They give you no levity at all. It's pretty much the darkest, most depressing experience you could go through. And the violence, every bit of violence in their film is so impactful. You feel it and you react to it. And, you know, a lot of the reactions to it compared to Talk to Me, I think Talk to Me is kind of like, Talk to Me was kind of like a TikTok movie. It's like, hey, this is great. It really appealed to mainstream horror fans. Bring Her Back is them kind of digging deeper. I don't like to say movies about trauma, but it leans into it in a way that I've never personally experienced before. And I think it's setting them up for hopefully a course more in this path than Talk to Me. And Yeah, dude, there was no movie this year that left me more like just angst ridden. And I thought about it for easily 4 or 5 days afterwards. I couldn't even revisit it because I was like, I was like, I haven't been this depressed all year. So number 3 for me is Bring Her Back.
Extremely accurate assessment.
Yeah.
No more comments because I'm talking about it later. So,
Well, for me, my third favorite physical media release of the year was the Wes Anderson um, archive from Criterion Collection, which comes with all 10 of his movies. I thought it was really nice. I mean, they come in really nice separate packaging for each of them. I mean, each movie is like this. It's got a media book on its own, and they go through them. You got Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, pretty much the entire slate that Wes Anderson has made. So I thought this was a really nice set. As far as like my third favorite movie of the year, I would probably say The Home. I don't know if anyone's seen The Home. That's Pete Davidson's horror film that he did this year. And the beginning of it, I mean, it starts off, he gets sent to work at a retirement home. And I don't want to give too much away, but things get pretty crazy. And it's got a twist unlike anything I've seen in the movies this year. I thought it was excellent.
Agreed. I loved it too.
You've gotten close to making me want to see a Pete Davidson movie.
Oh my God, yes.
It's great. It's great.
I agree with Q. The ending goes off the rails. You have to watch it. Stick with it. It's worth it.
All right.
All right, Jeff is up.
My number 3 game is going to dabble into the horror. It is the survival horror game. It is Chronos: The New Dawn. It's like Dead Space, but what's quite different about this is that you're actually a time traveler. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future, and you travel back to 1980s Poland to save certain scientists and important people to bring them back up to see if we can fix what caused the post-apocalyptic world. So nice little twist on a style that was created like 20 years ago by throwing in that little time loop thing. And my number 3 movie, which I didn't think anybody else was going to talk about, was Until Dawn. I was a huge fan of the game. I played through it on PS4. I played through it on PS5. Went to this really big theater to see the movie and really enjoyed it. If you know about the game, the movie actually ties into the game perfect in the last like 5 minutes of the movie. It ties it in, and it makes complete sense to the entire game series. And now I'm actually kind of excited to see if they do a sequel to this, because it would make it very easy for them to make a sequel to this with either the game characters or all new characters all over again. So I'm going to go with Until Dawn. I think that everybody should check it out. Is it the best acting movie? No, but you're going to have a lot of fun with it at the very least. And it's not 4 hours long like every other movie that comes out nowadays.
Cool. All right. I think I'm up. My number 3 performance in a horror film is a movie I think Q mentioned, Dave Franco in Together. I thought he did such a phenomenal job of playing a very layered character. It's a character who is kind of giving up his, well, he's like this washed up musician kind of, and he's kind of giving up his dream to go live in the middle of nowhere with his girlfriend, and you can kind of see him questioning the relationship and his choices. And he also has like a backstory of trauma, and I think he really played the part really well. It's a bit all over the place in kind of where it's going, but he did a great job. And I haven't really been a big fan of his before, but really solid acting in this movie. And it's also my number 3 pick for best movie of the year. I'm a fan of body horror in general because I feel it's one where I always see something different in these films. And this was a story I'd never seen before. And it was one where I had no idea where it was going to go. Kept me in suspense the whole time. I thought it was scary in parts too. There's a couple of parts that are really genuinely creepy, which is kind of hard to creep me out these days, seeing so much movies. But really love this movie. It was a nice surprise. Did not think I was going to like it as much as I did. I wish it ended slightly different, but other than that, like I would say it's a solid film, and it's one that I've rewatched a couple of times. Yeah, The Rental's really good too. Oh, I forgot Dave Franco was in that. Yeah, The Rental's really good too. That's another film that keeps you guessing. It starts going one way and then it does a twist at one end. But yeah, that one's really good. And Alison Brie's always good. I'm a fan of hers. So
I just want to add Dave Franco directed The Rental. He wasn't in it. He directed it. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, Rental's really good though. I recommend that also. Jerry, on to you.
Yeah, I like The Rental too. That was a sick movie. All right, back to holiday horror. For my number 3 pick is Silent Night. Period. That's it. Silent Night, 2012. So this is like a loose remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know a lot of people are like probably turning off their laptops right now and getting out of here, like fuck this guy. But no, I think this is definitely a more fun version.
I love it. Yeah.
of Silent Night, Deadly Night. I mean, there's plenty of gruesome kills. There's not a lot of like those problematic issues that kind of exist in Silent Night, Deadly Night, you know, like child abuse and things like that. So to me, this is definitely like a more fun version. It's dumb sometimes. It's brutal sometimes. And at some point there's a flamethrower. So I mean that's why I have to recommend it for anyone to check it out. There's probably like 10 films with this exact name. This one has Malcolm McDowell, Jamie King is in it, and it's directed by Stephen C. Miller. So that's it. Number 3, Silent Night. Yeah, there we go. For my number 3 film, I think Rich alluded to this a little earlier, but I was really into Vicious, Brian Bertino film of The Strangers fame. I think this film has incredible atmosphere. It's almost a monodrama. There's really only like one character throughout the whole film. There's a lot of inner monologue. There's a couple other characters, but I mean, it's really just based around like one character. Love the isolation. It's a dark kind of snowy night. It gets crazy. It gets brutal. Dakota Fanning really keeps you locked in. I think this is a film where you just need to take your phone, throw it across the room, turn off the lights, and like watch this film and like really just kind of like lock into it. I think it's great. And I think it kind of like forces you to do something that you may not want to do, and it's being honest with yourself sometimes. And I think this film really makes you think about that. And I thought it was a great film. So not a lot of people talked about it, but I highly recommend it.
I concur with you, but I also have to say, I think people should throw their phone across the room anytime they watch a movie. So I think that thing should be put away. But on to the next. Was Tony up?
All right, so sorry guys, I think it's my internet, but I think I went a little bit out of order. This is either number 4 or 5, or definitely well, maybe 3. Either or. My number 1 is definitely my number 1. The rest could really go in any order. But it's gonna have to be the I Know What You Did Last Summer movie that came out this year. I had fun with it. One of those again. I like a movie that I could like not take too serious, but just kind of enjoy. Maybe a little bit of comedy, great kills. All those things are important to me, and it kind of checked off those boxes. Has some cool cameos. Good enough plot, I thought, for what they were working with, and some of those kills were really, really good. I was actually kind of impressed. Some of the kills are pretty gruesome. And of course, I have to show off the little steel book. I don't know if you guys can see it now. Trying to take advantage that I have the camera running. So yeah, I thought it was a really good film. I had a lot, I enjoyed it. And then as far as number 3 for physical media, I'm gonna have to go with the Keep. So while the camera's working, I'll show it off. Technically, this one came out. I think it was last year or like 2 years ago or something, and it like sold out immediately. And then people were pissed because it went on eBay, and they were like people were charging like crazy amounts of money for it. So I think it's really cool what Vinegar Syndrome did, which is basically they released this version here. So they kind of like re-released it, trying to get it on camera there. It's got like some really nice, cool
That's
looking
awesome.
foil Yeah, the foil, I really like it. It really pops. Some people even say they like it better than the original. I don't know. Either way, I think it's really cool. This variant cover. Everything else is the same as far as the booklet and the transfer and the bonus features and stuff like that. But you know, it's a really cool film, man. It's a sad film in the sense that had a lot of issues, like budget cuts, and it was like it was just doomed for failure from the beginning. They had like a lot of issues with it, but regardless, it's still kind of like a cult favorite. I mean the special effects parts look really really good. I mean, considering all the budget cuts and all the things they had to deal with. And I think if I remember the story right, like the original FX person like died or something. So then somebody else had to kind of take over. It's got a really cool story. There's a little like documentary. They go into it with the bonus features. So if you like, you know, those kind of like you know, like cult movies, even though it's a very incomplete film, if you want to dive into it, I would highly suggest reading the book. The book is actually really good. You know, of course, I like the book better than the movie. It gives you like a more complete picture of what's actually going on. So you can still watch it without reading the book. You're just gonna be a little bit lost. I mean, maybe you kind of just, you know, some things are just like too abrupt, you know, and some of like the really cool parts that are in the book are missing from the film, which is unfortunate. But I think it's worth a watch if you don't want to pay. I don't know what the price is anymore for the original Vinegarson release. But now with this one that came out, it's really nice. And this one, what they did is actually also cool in that only the indie retailers have it. So like me and Orbit, Diabolic, and all the other indie retailers have the movie. So yeah, you have another opportunity to pick it up.
You're muted, Matthew. Matthew, can you hear us? You're muted.
Oh, sorry
There you
about
go.
that. I'm here. I am. I think I'm up now. All right. So, obviously, being an '80s kid, I'm a huge fan of anthology horror. But one of my favorite anthology horrors is Trick or Treat. So I have the Sam, and I had the unique ability to go and get Quinn Lord to autograph this. So definitely a piece that I highly cherish. My number three movie of the year is definitely. I know it was made in 2023, but it released this year. Is The Toxic Avenger. Uh, Massive fan of Trauma. I thought this movie absolutely worked on so many levels. I thought the gore was there. I thought the absurdity was there. I enjoyed the cameo by Lloyd Kaufman. The only one thing that I'd take that hurt it a little bit was I would have liked a little bit more practical effects instead of CGI, but still, overall, huge fan of that movie. I am so glad that our horror and independent films are getting released in theaters. So I thought Toxic Avenger was a huge win, and that's my number three for the year.
I agree with that about the practical effects. I really enjoyed Toxic Avenger, but the CGI kind of really took me out of it. And it just for a movie that's a trauma movie, like even if the effects were bad, it would have been good. So that was a missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
I'd agree. All right, we're on to our runners up, our second of best of the year, second best of the year. So in Scream 5, there is a song that plays over the credits by a band called Salem. That is the side project of the lead singer of a band called Creeper. Creeper has reimagined themselves over the last couple of years. They were really punk at the beginning. Then they took a little hiatus and came back with what I think is one of the best albums of the last decade, which is Sex, Death, and the Infinite Void. And then they followed that up with a goth rock vampire concept album, and it was good. It wasn't as good as, you know, the one I thought before, but then they followed up that one with a sequel called Sanguivore 2 Mistress of Death, which is about this vampire slaying badass woman who, if you care about the stories, that's all there. But I love the atmosphere of this album. It is dripping in 80s goth rock just mood. It's synthesizers, guitar solos, huge vocals. Will Gold's voice is amazing, but he also has a female vocalist in the band, and they balance back and forth between male and female parts. There is a entirely female-led song that is like a horror cabaret. It's jazzy. It's got some jazz piano, saxophone solos. and it is about I mean, the main line of the chorus is decapitation is a lifestyle, baby. I just love that kind of attitude about the whole thing. She's talking about bringing boys to bed and hanging their heads on the wall. Like, that's the atmosphere of the album, but it is just a ton of fun. And it's my most listened to album of the year, and it released on Halloween. So that tells you something there. All right. And my runner-up choice for movies is Weapons. I loved Weapons. I laughed a lot at this movie, not as hard as I did at The Monkey, but I really enjoyed the almost natural humor of Weapons. It just fit the characters perfectly. The only reason this is knocked down a little bit for me is I'm not the biggest fan of the structure. I think it works in this film, but I typically do not like this type of structure in a movie. It bothers me. Other things like it's not exactly the same, but like the Seinfeld episode in season 9 where it goes in reverse, hate it. I know I hate things like that.
I can't believe you hate it.
I hate the reverse episode in Seinfeld. I do. But I think it works for this movie. It still is just something like, as soon as I saw that title card come up, I was like, oh no. But I still really love this movie. It's my number 2 pick.
Very cool. Oh, I'm next. I was totally caught up with what you were saying. Let's see. I've got another second sight edition here, and that is with Possession. Fantastic film, fantastic set. Isabel Adjani, Sam Neill, classic from 1981. I haven't opened it yet because it's almost too nice, but I know I will at some point. It includes the screenplay with handwritten notes, a hardcover book, and a 4K restoration of the film. Cover up the cover. Possession. And let's see. We've already talked about some of these films, or this film. I've got Bring Her Back as my second choice. I've got the A24 edition here. I agree with everything Chris said about this movie. I love it too. It'll make you appreciate your teeth after watching it. I have not gone back to revisit it, but I will. I'm just not quite ready to rewatch it because it's very dark and it does affect you. And I'll leave it at that. Bring Her Back is my second choice.
Hey, Aaron, please follow up with me again with your elderly grandmother on the entire experience of Possession.
Oh my God, this one? Yes.
Yeah. Let me know what she thinks of when the apartment scene in the beginning of the third act.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
She'll love it. Let me know details.
Is so good. Possession's one of my favorite films of all time. I've got the same edition, and I did open it. And I looked at everything. It was. I haven't watched the bonus features yet, but I'm really excited to. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Sam Neill, but like just the performances overall are just incredible, top notch. Great.
Agreed. I just watched In the Mouth of Madness, speaking of Sam Neill. And I also want to give a shout out to Tony because I got this from Valoria Video.
Oh, cool.
I ordered this and the other second sight edition from you, Tony. So thank you. I love what you do.
Right on. My pleasure. Thank you, brother.
Well, I'm going to go back for my top 5 list of movies that are new to me, but not from 2025. I'm going back to the Shaw Brothers, baby. And this one is like kind of known as the craziest Shaw Brothers horror movie. This is The Boxer's Omen from 1983. I freaking love it. It's so freaking weird. You can't even really describe it. This guy tries to go and get revenge for his brother who was injured in the ring in a boxing match. He tries to go get revenge, but he gets sidetracked on this quest about his family's his ancestors was cursed by black magic, and it's crazy. What I love about it is there's all these crazy cheesy effects, but then there's amazing effects in it as well. Practical ones that look great and practical effects that look terrible. And it doesn't matter because either way, you're just freaking like having a ball. My favorite, or one of my very favorite authors, David Sodergren. If you've ever watched any of my live stream videos, it's become a long-running joke where I always compare my movie ratings to his movie ratings because he's also a big movie fan. In fact, his books read a lot like horror movies, but in book form. So if you're looking for that vibe in a book, check out any book by David Sodergren. But I'm always giving him shit, and this is behind his back because he doesn't know, which I think makes it even funnier. It's just become a long-running thing where I always look at his Letterboxd ratings He gave The Boxer's Omen a 2-star, and he said if you watched any 30-second clip, you would think it was the greatest movie ever, but in actuality, it is so boring. I read that before I watched it. After I watched it, I said, how could he possibly say this? What is this man's problem? And I say this with love, because I love his opinions, and actually, he has the same rating as me when it comes to my number one movie. Not going to say what that is yet. My number one movie of 2025. So he and I rated that movie the same. So sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, and either way, it's freaking fun to see. And I will say, it started because he likes Giallo films a lot. So if you're a big fan of Giallo, you should totally follow him. He's got some great recs, and I did a whole vlog where I read like him and I watched like him. So I read some of his favorites and I watched some of his favorites. So I watched some of his favorite Giallos. Anyway, that's how I came to follow him on Letterboxd and got into this whole thing where I compare my ratings with his. If you like bonkers films, The Boxer's Omen. Cheesy, but fantastic. And I think it's best watched with friends. Kind of like Troll 2-esque, if that makes sense a little bit, but more well-made. Like, the filmmaking quality is a lot better than that. But sometimes it goes into the cheesy territory. But hey, I love that. Anyway, it's great. All right, and my number 2 favorite 2025 horror release, Weapons. A lot of people here have mentioned it already. It was number 1 on my list until last night when I watched something else that just narrowly, well, not really narrowly, actually. It kicked it down. And I'll talk about that later. But Weapons is number 2.
I do want a shameless plug to anybody wanting to really know David Sodergren on Beyond the Blood. We did a 2.5 hour long podcast episode with him.
You did?
We did, we did 2.5 hours with him, and it was incredible. We could have gone 3 times the length, because when I found out how equal his and I taste was, it went right off the rails for the rest of the episode. So enjoy that.
I love him. Highly recommend his books to anybody looking for just like easy to read, fast paced, but also really with great character development. And I usually talk books, so I'm a huge fan. Like, he's one of my very favorite authors of all time, and definitely one of the best, like, independently published authors today. Please support him. He is fantastic. And I'm just joshing about his movie ratings and giving him shit that he doesn't know about even, but it's just become a fun joke. I don't know. Anyway, he's the best.
All right. So my number 2 pick for physical media release of this year is going to be this little gem, a 1957 film from Hammer, and it is The Curse of Frankenstein.
Nice.
It's going to be this release from Hammer Films. So when I got this, I had never seen the film. This is Christopher Lee's first film with Hammer. It's the first Hammer horror film in color, and I think the portrayal of Victor Frankenstein in this is probably my favorite. The just the depth that you get, the depth of character you get from him, I think is incredible, and it's such a great release. And the artwork alone, I mean, that you are getting on this is just, it's great. I mean, it's a jam-packed release. You're getting, I think, 6 discs in this. You're getting a graphic novel. You're getting a book about this. Tons of art cards, posters. It's a stacked release, and I think especially this year with Hammer I think this is like, for physical media, this seems to be the year of Hammer. The stuff that they're doing, I think I love what they're doing, and I hope they continue with that. But my number 2 pick for movies this year, everyone else has kind of talked about it, but it's going to be the Bring Her Back. I mean, there's not much else I can say about Bring Her Back that hasn't already been said. It's a very bleak film that, like Chris said, doesn't let you go, and from start to finish, makes you favor your teeth. And there's some body horror stuff in there involving an arm that really gets under your skin and can make you a little queasy. But I thought the film, I loved this movie. Yes, it does deal with the trauma. I think that's almost overdone now. Everyone talks about, uses that. I mean, it's a good angle. You can use it. But I thought what the Philippi brothers did with it, I loved. And I'm excited to see where they go from here. And I think it's an incredible film.
All right, man. So, gonna follow this up with a documentary, and I know pre-orders for this went live technically 2024, but it was released 2025. I'm talking about the Rock and Shock documentary off of the Synapse Redshirt Pictures release of Trick or Treat. This was not only one of my favorite releases of the year. Michael Felsher and his team at Redshirt Pictures did an incredible job restoring this and gave us a host of brand new bonus features. But the documentary, which runs about 80 minutes, is an incredible insight to a film that's already kind of heavily underseen, mostly due to availability. But it's kind of a perfect companion piece to the movie. It's one of those ones that you want to throw on right when you're done if you have the time. And I think it's an excellent look back. Some great interviews in here with cast and crew, as well as just some people who flat out love the movie and just wanted to discuss their love for it. So that was my personal pick for number 2. And then, for the year, I got to go with Hard Eyes for number 2. I was shocked at how much I liked it, and I'm actually on the side that kind of argues it's not an original movie whatsoever. It does everything every slasher movie has ever done before. It just does it really well. Like it's a wonderful romantic comedy that has some of the most vicious kills of the year. It has a great drive-in movie theater scene. The ending takes place in a chapel that is incredible. Saw the twist a mile away, but I still had a ton of fun with it. Yeah, I just really kind of enjoyed the vibe of it and had a lot of fun with it. And actually, Weapons was going to be my number 2, but I hate the structure of that movie so much. That one's number 6.
Oh, it didn't make the top 5.
Yeah, never in my life have I gotten so excited for something to happen for them to just pull the rug out and bring me back 25 minutes into the film's plot, and that drove me nuts. So
I'm right there with you.
All right, so my number 2 favorite physical media release is going to be the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K steelbook set. As you know, as a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, we've been waiting for that for so long, and it's nice to finally have all the movies in 4K. So that was my number 2 as far as physical releases. My number 2 as far as favorite movies of this year. I'm gonna go opposite of Chris. I'm gonna say Weapons. And I wasn't a fan of the structure neither, but Tim, you said earlier you laughed during this movie, and one of the segments of the movie that I just could not stop laughing about was the interaction between the cop and the junkie. That whole little interaction there was so funny. And then the music that they used during that scene, like this hipster bass drop beat every time the junkies like speed walking trying to find money and stuff, man. I just thought that whole scene was funny, but I loved Weapons. Weapons was my number 2.
My favorite was the theatrical experience with that movie, where I'm sitting there with a bunch of people who are there to see a horror movie. And so everyone is super hesitant to laugh. And like funny things my wife hates it because I laugh at the darkest humor in movies, and usually I'm the only person laughing in the theater. So she's like, stop. But this was one of those where it's like you started to hear a little chuckle here, a little chuckle there. And then as the movie kept going, everybody starts to open up. And I was like, this is a fun experience at the movies. Yeah. Not getting kicked in the back of the chair, not telling that lady to put her phone away. This was a fun one. So I enjoyed that.
It was great. It was great.
Are we on to Jeff?
So my number 2 game of the year is one that I waited 18 years for. They announced it about 7 years ago, and it just came out about 2 weeks ago, and that is Metroid Prime 4. It's called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond because it takes place in space and time, beyond space and time. So the neat thing about that is if you've never played one, you can jump right in on this one, and none of the other story really matters per se. But there's a lot of nods to longtime fans. This was this was everything that I wanted it to be, and my kids are loving it too. So getting to share that experience with them has been amazing. And then my number 2 film, I don't have it, but I absolutely loved it, and that is Together. Alison Brie, pretty much, I can watch her in pretty much anything. I liked her ever since Community. Franco, I've never really liked him at all, and I've been watching him since he was in Scrubs. So I've never really dug him. I've always been more of a James Franco guy, but he did everything right in this movie for me. And I didn't know they were married until after I watched the film, and it made a whole lot more sense afterwards as to how well their chemistry worked together. And I think that makes for a lot of the reasons why I probably like the film.
Okay, I think I'm up with the number 2. My number 2 top horror performance. I'm going to go with Marlon Wayans and Him. Now, Him is not good. The movie's a mess. It takes forever to get going, and then when it does, the last 20 minutes are just dumb. Like, I really don't like this movie. And I watched it a second time just to make sure I don't like it, and I really do not like this movie. But Marlon Wayans is really good in it. Like, he's playing this, aging quarterback who's about to just give up his role to a younger player, and you never know what he's thinking or what he's all about. Like, he's very like there's very subtle things in his performance that just always kind of keep you guessing. I just wish this movie was better. It's just such a bad movie, but he's really good in it. And then my number 2 pick of best movie for 2025 is a movie that I never would have watched if Jerry didn't recommend it to me. It is Bone Lake. Really, really dumb title, but awesome movie. A very simple movie. Again, this is not reinventing the wheel. The plot is 2 couples show up at the same Airbnb that they both quote unquote booked, and of course, one of the couples is not as they seem. So nothing really original, but it's such an entertaining, suspenseful, interesting movie. The last 20 minutes or so is bonkers. It's so entertaining. I've watched the movie a couple of times, and I even though I know kind of where it's going to go, I still really enjoy it. Just really good performances from some unknown actors, at least unknown in my world. I highly recommend Bone Lake. Really, really fun, interesting, and pretty gory movie.
Hell yeah, love Bone Lake too. All right, getting back to top 2 holiday horror. All right, so this is an interesting one here, and I'm definitely got to give the plot for this. I'm going with 2005's Santa's Sleigh, and basically this is like Santa is a demon who lost a bet with an angel, and he's forced to be good for like 1,000 years by bringing children joy. But now the 1,000 years has ended, and it's time for Santa to really become like who he really is, which is like this evil demon. I mean, I think it's just an interesting plot. It's fun as hell. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, plays Santa. So he's like this imposing kind of guy, really bad actor, but he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and I think that's probably for the better. It's just really funny seeing Santa doing like all these crazy things. He's like drinking, doing drugs, going to like strip clubs. I mean, it's just pretty funny. Wouldn't take it serious at all, but I think that's what really makes a good holiday horror is when you could just kind of laugh at it, and there's a lot of crazy kind of kills in it. So for my number 2 film of 2025, I know quite a few people mentioned it. Final Destination Bloodlines. This film had no right being this good. It was it was such a shock. I would say Final Destination is probably a guilty pleasure, but now I think it's just a film I like. Probably the best one in the series. That opening scene is epic. I mean, it's brutal, but also feels like a Mad Men episode. The cast, I mean, they're like really annoying. So you're really happy when they get killed. And so I just thought it was a lot of fun. So when you think like they can't come up with new ways to do like these brutal things to people, they did. They did it many times in this film. So definitely number 2, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Okay, and then Tony is back. Let's see. Tony, just in time for your turn.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Internet keeps booting me out. Okay, let's try it out before it boots me out again. Okay, so for my number two of movies in the theater, sounds like a copycat. I'll have to go with Weapons, man. That was yeah, I really, really enjoyed.
And we're losing him again.
It's frozen.
Oh,
So I really enjoyed it. I really didn't see it so much like a horror movie. I felt it was more like a dark comedy. It wasn't like scary or anything like that.
okay. It just booted him off again. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. You were breaking up a little bit, but we got the gist of what you said.
Okay. And then I'll just go into my number two for. Uh,
okay.
That was more just like a nostalgic pick for me. Really enjoyed it. It came out in '97, so it was an awesome year for me for just movies and everything else. So just a really fun watch. Um, I'm not sure if I'm on camera now, but the artwork is incredible. So if I get camera again, I'll definitely show it off.
What movie was that?
Boogie Nights.
Okay. Yeah, your camera went out and your audio improved. So all right, Matthew, on to you.
All right. Well, I want to definitely jump on and say that I also love Santa's Sleigh, so that was a great recommendation. I watch that one yearly, and the absurdity of that film is just unhinged, and I
Awesome.
love that. So great recommendation. All right. So number two, we don't got a lot of this guy, but my Freddy Krueger, and it's Freddy with needles. You don't see a lot of him, so it's one of my favorite movies. It's in my top five. I love Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Dream Warriors is just an amazing film, and I adore it. So, number two of the year is going to be Sinners. And I really struggled with this being my number one or my number two because I gave my one and two both a number 10. I think this is just a masterclass in filmmaking. I think Ryan Coogler is establishing him as one of the top directors in Hollywood. His partnership with Michael B. Jordan and his duality of his character in his film. And I think it was just so historically accurate with how he casted the film. I thought the acting was brilliant. I thought the music was amazing. There is a cinematic sequence in this film when they are transcending time, and that was phenomenal to me. So the reason why this didn't jump into my number one is because we really only get about 20 minutes of true horror in this film. But overall, it is a 10 in my opinion. It's a great movie. I even love the post credit. It made me want to have a sequel focusing on the couple in that post credit. So Sinners, number two of the year, adored that movie.
I feel like I'm in the minority here. I thought the first hour of that movie was damn near a masterpiece. But then I actually thought it lost me when the vampires showed up.
Tim, you're not alone.
Okay.
Listen, bro. Sinners kind of sucks. No offense to anybody that liked it, but Ryan Coogler is not. He knows how to direct the first half of his movies. The second half, I think he gives it off the second unit and then leaves.
See, I'm with like everything you said, Matthew. Yeah, and that sequence with the music was awesome.
Mhm.
It was just like I thought the vampires were the weakest part of the movie. Like everything else was so good. So good. All right, so top choice of the year. I don't have this one on vinyl because I did not like it at first. I didn't enjoy it, which somehow it ended up being my favorite, but that is I Don't Want to See You in Heaven by the Callous Dow Boys. It is, I don't know how to describe it to you. I don't know how to tell you what you're in for. It's like mathcore, hardcore, but then there's jazz and then there's some nice pop hooks. Somehow they make it all work. It grew on me. I did not like it the first time I listened to it, and it became the album that impressed me the most. They took some swings, and I think they hit some home runs. and nothing else really risked it as much as what I think this one did. That was the thing. Someone in the chat mentioned Sleep Token. I felt like it was too similar to their previous album. No real big swings on it. Still great stuff. But this one, big swings. Highly recommend I Don't Want to See You in Heaven by the Callous Dowboys. And then my top movie of the year has already been circulating the chat, is Bring Her Back. That's my number one. I've heard you guys talking about the trauma. I love the parallel storylines of grief, from the brother and sister struggling with their grief to their new adopted mother struggling with her own grief, and how we see the two of them different. The brother changing from his dad's behavior and trying to forge a new path and be better through his grief. And then we see the mother figure who is becoming worse through her grief and descending. And I thought that parallel was fantastic. This movie is everything you guys said it is. It is uncomfortable. It is not a fun watch, but it is the movie that has stayed in my brain every day since I saw it, whether it is every time I see a wooden table and wonder if I can chew it, or I get a hangnail and I'm worried that it's going to go to my elbow. So that, whether it's that or that final shot of the mother holding her deceased child. Spoilers, it's been out a while. But that, it gets me. So Bring Her Back is my top choice for the year.
God, so good. Great pick there. Let's see. Q, you are going to like this. I have the 4K edition of The Nightmare on Elm Street here. This is, I guess, the travel edition, because I do have the Steelbook set at home. This one travels better, let's say. I was so excited that we got all these films on 4K. I haven't watched them yet in 4K, but that was some great news this past year.
Perfect travel companion.
Yes, exactly, right. And they're still in 4K. Oh, it's backwards. Let's see. Chris and Tim, you're not going to like this, but I chose Weapons as my top movie. I love the structure. I thought it's
justified.
It's a very intelligent film. I had a lot of fun in the theater. Tim, it was a packed house. No one was on their phones. No one was talking.
Oh,
I think there were folks laughing along, but it was quite an awesome experience. And I got the import Steelbook here. I don't know. They go into the characters. They go into details with them. There's a lot of depth to the characters, and all the puzzle pieces come together. I just think it works, and I have multiple copies of this one. So Weapons is my top choice. And there you go.
Awesome.
Kelsey, over to you.
Yeah. I am going to go with my favorite new to me watch that is not a 2025 release. It's from 1976. No one's going to agree with this. Another movie David Sodergren has rated 2 stars. Sorry to call out David Sodergren again. I don't care. It's fun. Whatever. He said it drags on to a mind-numbing 111 minutes. The slowest of slow burns. I agree with that. But the opening sequence catches you. So this is the house with laughing windows. I watched it on this kind of weak-ass DVD version. However, I did just get in. Arrow just released a nice 4K version, and I'm so excited to check it out. However, I think that a lot of you guys might watch it and not like it like the level I liked it. There was just something about the opening credit sequence. It was like orange toned. You could barely see what was going on. There was this really creepy voice played off of a tape recorder. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I think, so this is technically considered by many to be a giallo movie. However, I would not call it a giallo in the traditional sense. And I think a lot of people going into this movie thinking it's a giallo will feel disappointed, because there is no black glove killer. There's not giallo shenanigans. It's not fast paced. It's slow burn, more of like gothic kind of vibes, in my opinion. And I really loved it. So not only did David Sodergren give it 2 stars, but also if you follow the Cobwebs channel, who's another big, great horror creator on YouTube, who I really like because he does a lot of nostalgic themed content. I love nostalgia, so I'm a little biased. That's why I like him so much. But he gave it 2 stars as well. And he said, you know, it offers very little of the fun and crazy thrills that giallo often has. I could see that. I could see that criticism. However, I do think the mystery is really interesting. I think the setting is really well done. It's like a small town, and all of the buildings in this small town are so spooky and creepy. And I loved the mystery, and I loved the ending. I don't know. Something about this worked for me. Do I think it will work for everyone? No. But hey, it works for me, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, I guess approach with caution, but I'm excited about this 4K release because I liked the way it looked on the DVD. I think it's going to look even better, obviously, on this new release.
Both David and Daniel are wrong, and I'll make sure to tell them that.
Really? You agree with me?
I love House with Laughing Windows. Yeah,
that
Okay,
and that
good.
4K looks amazing.
Great movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, about seeing the new 4K edition. But yeah, I'm so glad you guys like it too because I was like, well, what are they doing? Like, why are they rating it 2 stars? And again, I really don't care what anyone rates anything. I just think it's fun to poke at specifically David Sodergren just because it's a whole inside running joke with myself and my random community. But anyway,
Chris is gonna have to send him to your channel so he can
Chris,
catch all
don't.
the jokes.
No, I'm kidding. You can. He wouldn't have no idea I've been doing this, but I did ask him for his permission to do that vlog where I read some of his favorites and watched some of his favorites, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, he's great. Like, again, I'm plugging his books because I swear to you, they're great books. I've read almost everything he's released, and one of his books is going to be a book club pick of mine for next year. I think it's called Hard Luck Jenny. It's kind of like it's going to be for St. Patrick's Day month, March. So look out for that. But anyway, that was my number 1 new to me watch. Loved it. Can't wait to watch the 4K. All right, now my number 1 movie of 2025 that I just watched freaking last night. And I was like, oh man, nothing's coming close to this. And sorry, Tim, this is going to be a little repetitive, but it's Bring Her Back. I freaking loved it. So I love grief horror, like you kind of talked about. I thought everything you said was so perfect and agree. The table scene, I literally screamed. I was like, ah! And I will go so far as to say that is not only it's my favorite release of this year, it's probably my favorite horror release of like the last 5 or 6 years or more.
Wow.
I really loved it. And this one, me and your boy David Sodergren are on the same page because he loved it too and gave it 5 stars. And I didn't know that going in. I just looked it up after just because I see his ratings on my letterbox because I follow him. But anyway, wonderful movie. I can't say much more that hasn't been said, but I like how it got possession vibes, not Possession the movie, Possession as in like a trope, Possession vibes, but done a different way, a unique way. I think it's a different take on that. I'm a lover of possession stories, so I was apt to kind of like it because of that, but I think it did a nice little spin on it. It also gave me like Pet Sematary vibes, that kind of grief horror, which I love. So to me, it was really effective. I didn't feel like it was super CG heavy, which I hate. That's one of the reasons why I don't really love new release horror. I kind of like tend to look at old school horror because I just don't like the look of CG a lot of times. And I thought it had it all. It had emotion. It really, I was so depressed afterwards, but I was like, oh, bitch, yes. Like, I was depressed, but like excited about it. So what other movie could do that? It was freaking, It knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
Yes, Bring Her Back is incredible. I love that movie.
And the knife scene. Oh, with the knife. Anyway, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. That.
Yeah.
Anyways, so my number 1 pick I'm going to go with, it has already been said twice, but this guy right here, the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K. You can go with the slit that Aaron had, or this one that Hugh showed off. But just the fact that we're finally, after how long, wanting these in 4K, getting uncut versions, getting the 3D glasses. It's a feat in of itself. And I'm so glad that we finally can, if you don't want to go with this route, they have the slipcover. We can finally have them in 4K. And by the way, they look amazing. Especially 2. That's looks really great. But yeah, that's going to be my number 1 pick is this beauty right here. But as far as my number 1 movie pick that released in 2025, I haven't heard anybody say anything about this. I saw some people in the chat talked about it, but it is The Ugly Stepsister. That is my number 1. It's this little Norwegian film, and it's a take on the Cinderella story, but through the perspective of one of the sisters. And it is a body horror's dream of a movie. It's so good. It's shot beautifully. There's just some incredibly disgusting, disgusting scenes. There's a tapeworm scene in the scene in the movie that it's gut wrenching, but it's such a good film, and I'm so happy to see that Second Sight is putting out that 4K for, I think it's February of next year. So that's already pre-ordered, but definitely, if you guys have not seen that, you like body horror, the chisel scene, it's a little simple scene. It's in the trailer, so you guys can see it there. And it's so funny to see just the very calm nature of basically plastic surgery of the surgeon. Just, he doesn't care and he's just happy, going with it. And the blood curdling scream that goes along with it, and the sound is just, it's an incredible film. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys really, really should check it out. I saw it on Shudder. I don't know if it's still on there, but that's where I saw it. So,
My God, we're at number one already. All right.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go on and on about this for my pick. I'm just going to tell you guys to pick up Jason Goes to Hell on 4K from Arrow Video. Listen to the audio commentary with Michael Felsher and Uncle Creepy Steve Barton, and then can tell yourself over and over again that this is one of the best Friday 13 sequels, and then watch it over and over again like I do. Just do that. Do me a favor and do that. That's fantastic.
oh, and then I want to say, go check out our interview that we did, me, Chris, and our buddy Steven.
Yeah, with Adam Marcus. Yeah, I forgot that we did that. And then my number one movie of the year is actually one I just saw. I'm going with 28 Years Later. I think it's been talked about once or twice. I am not a 28 Days Later fan. And I am 100% a 28 Weeks Later fan. To answer this question, it's just 4K. Not a 28 Days Later fan, so I was extremely uninterested in Danny Boyle returning to this franchise. Took me completely by surprise how a movie with such scope kind of focuses in on like these very incredibly impactful like little stories that are in the post-apocalyptic world. Not only is the movie doing really cool visual stuff with the spinning iPhones and all kinds of cool, like just incredible stuff shot on the device that's in our pocket, but there's just an emotional turn this movie takes in the third act that completely floored me. And I'm all for whatever Nia DaCosta is doing in the Bone Temple. And then on top of it, you got Big Dick Nick running around the whole movie. He's great. And, it's a yeah, there's some massive dongs in 28 Years Later, just so you all know. They're everywhere. 28 Years Later, man, that movie rocks.
So, Chris, I'm gonna agree with you. Jason Goes to Hell is an amazing sequel. I don't care what anyone says. Love Jason Goes to Hell. But my number one favorite physical media release tugged at heartstrings, and that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4K set from Arrow. Love it. I've watched this probably 3 times since I've gotten it in. Just absolutely love everything they've done with it. Such an amazing physical release. But my number one, and I'm surprised that Jordan is the only one that said something about this movie, and someone else did in chat. But I love The Ugly Stepsister. That was my number one. I will go as far as to say it's my favorite Cinderella story. It's really that good. The one thing I don't hear too many people talk about was the switch that happens near the end of the movie. It focuses on the ugly stepsister's perspective for most of the movie, but then near the end they kind of flip it on you. I love that. To me, I kind of look at it from like 2 different perspectives in one movie, but I love the Ugly Stepsister, and like Jordan said, I can't wait for that second sight edition. It can't get here any sooner. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Awesome. So my number one game of the year was one that I waited 26 years for. So it was either going to be a major disappointment or it was going to be the best game of the year, and that is Donkey Kong Bonanza. We finally got the original game character in a really good 3D open world game. It looks beautiful. It runs beautiful. The story is off the wall goofy, which is exactly what you would expect for Donkey Kong. And it's great for young ones and classic gamers alike, because who doesn't like some good Donkey Kong? Perfect timing, too, because he kind of has that characteristics of Donkey Kong from the Mario Brothers movie. I think they're trying to turn Donkey Kong into comedic relief, which is perfect. And then my number one movie, we've all basically talked about it, is Weapons. And the thing that I've learned tonight was that it seems like I may have laughed in all the right spots. I watched this one by myself and chuckled a few times and was wondering if maybe I was a little off. But knowing that I'm not the only one that laughed a few times through it, I guess it is a dark comedy in that aspect. But sometimes I'm just at work and I'm just driving in the van and I think about the kids running down the street. I spend a lot of time by myself working nowadays, and this movie, I've thought about it a lot since I've watched it. I like the out of order stuff because you don't get that very often in films, and when you do, it usually isn't done well. I think it was done well in this one.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rich.
Cool. My number one performance in a horror movie this year is Sophie Thatcher in Companion.
Oh, yes.
I really didn't think I was going to like this movie. Like, if you described it to me, I would say no way. But I found this movie so fresh and entertaining and just unique and oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Just a different take on, again, a lot of these AI kind of movies. And she's just really good at it. She plays the role perfectly of just this android who's discovering that she's an android, and covers all different kinds of emotions. Like, there's that one scene that really stands out for me where she's forced to hold her hand over a flame for a very long period of time. And without even moving, without even saying anything, you feel the pain that she's feeling, not just physically, but also mentally. And just, she's so good in this movie. And it's just a fun, interesting, creative movie. So Sophie Thatcher Companion. My number one horror movie of the year is a New Zealand film that released on Shudder in January of this year. The movie is Grafted, and I've not met another person that has liked this movie. It's very poorly reviewed, but I love this movie. It's Mean Girls with body horror, and it tells the story of this misfit who's will basically do whatever it takes to become popular. And I don't know. Again, I thought it's very creative. I thought really interestingly shot. The tone of it is just perfect, and I fucking love this movie. Sorry for cursing, but it's so different, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. And that's what I really look for in a movie. I want to see something I haven't seen. Tell me a different story or a different spin on a story or a story told in a different way. And this is all of those things. So highly recommend Grafted. I would be very curious to see if there's anybody else out there that likes this movie, because I might be the only one. But it's my number one pick for the year.
I can tell you our friend Jessica Lacey, author of Tastes Like Candy, she recommended Grafted to me back when it came out. So I do remember her enjoying it. Yep.
Yeah, it's an excellent film. I forgot about it. That's a great shout out.
Yeah, I think, didn't Umbrella put out a slip of that?
I think so.
No one knows. I do have to say, I think the biggest crime in Companion was giving away a certain twist in the trailer.
Ooh, there it is.
Nice.
See, I went into it without seeing the trailer, so the twist to me was maybe not the first twist, but definitely like the second twist. There's a few twists, but I definitely did not see it coming. And I like how they do it early. They give you the twist early, so it's not like you're building up. You're like, oh, like the movie kind of shifts a lot. But
Yeah,
yeah, the trailer.
I've gotten into arguments with people who are like, "Oh, it's not a real twist because it happened so early," and I'm like, "Nah, I still think it affects when I go into the movie knowing it definitely affects how I view the events." So, but it is a good
And
movie.
when you rewatch it, you pick up on certain things that I missed the first watch. So it's got rewatchability.
That one scene that she's speaking German to the police officer is probably the hardest I laughed in the theater this past year. It's so funny. That's all I'll say. It's so good.
All right,
so I'll hand it over to Jerry.
All right. Top holiday horror film. Don't know what the world's going to think about this one. This is definitely my favorite. I watch it every year since it came out. It's Christmas, Bloody Christmas from Joe Bagos. I'm such a huge fan. If any of you know Joe Bagos, please send the horror heads way. I feel like he would really enjoy hanging out with us. I love this movie, the look, the feel of it. Like I literally want to live in this movie. The whiskey drinking, dive bars, record stores, toy stores, like get me in there. I think all the scenes, they look great, neon drenched, saturated. There's a lot of opposing lighting, kind of similar to like Suspiria with reds and blues. I think they do so much with this that kind of goes unnoticed because like the dialogue is just so harsh and they like F-bomb probably like 600 times in this film. It might be the only dialogue in the film. There's like brutal kills, a bunch of like drunken decisions. It's funny at times. It's annoying. I watched it 20 times. I love this film. I highly recommend it. That's my top holiday horror. And this is going to be disappointing to everybody. I'm sure my top film for 2025.
The Strangers Chapter 2?
Close. No. It was not my favorite. That was actually my top bomb for actually 2025. And I did want to like that film. I watched it 3 or 4 times just to make sure I didn't like it. But no. All right. So top film. Rich mentioned it earlier. It's Bone Lake. It's the stupidest name in the world. I don't even know why I watched it. I just like, you felt like checking out something different. I'm like, I'm going to check this out. Psychological drama, horror, everything. This cold open will suck you in. In 3 minutes of this film, you'd be like, I can't believe I didn't give this movie a chance, because you'll see some things that I guarantee you never saw before in a film. So I think it's worth watching. The last probably 15, 20 minutes of this film, it turns into like this absurd, bloody, brutal film. I mean, it hits like a French film. So if you're into like Martyrs, I think we mentioned before, like revenge, mad climax, like there's like this level that French films go to, like of bloodiness and absurdity, and this film takes you there in like that last 20 minutes, and you're just like, what the hell did I just watch? So I mean, it's cool, it's fast, it's sexy. Mercedes Bryce Morgan did it, who did Spoonful of Sugar, which is kind of a sexy film as well. If you're into that sort of thing, I say definitely check this out, but it is a horror film, so regardless of the dumb name. So that's it. Number 1, Bone Lake.
Cool.
All right, Tony.
Am I still on?
Yeah, you're on, and you sound good.
Winning. All right.
Crystal
Let's
clear.
go. So my number, I'll do the movie that for 2025. This one I did not watch in the theater. I actually watched it at home. The trailer didn't really like impress me when I first saw it, but everybody's like, "No, you gotta see it. You just trust me. Just watch it." So I saw it here. I streamed it and ended up buying it. I loved it so much, and that's going to be Sinners, man. I really loved Sinners that much. It blew me away. For me, in terms of 2025, it was just like the most complete movie in terms of like plot. It was really interesting. It was different. It's a very unique movie. The whole time just glued to my seat, just watching this thing, like seeing like what is going on here, because it's, you kind of don't know where it's going. Then the vampires come in and it's like, oh my god. And then I mean, the acting is through the roof, the cinematography, some really good kills. The characters are so cool and sleek, and I like the twins, and like I'm bad with remembering names, but the Irish vampire and his clan. it is just so cool, man. I really, really love Sinners. For me personally, I think it's the best one of 2025. And yeah, as far as physical media, I think two people already mentioned it. I have a lot of stories with this one in terms of selling it. It was a crazy time. It was my number two bestseller of the year. Very expensive to purchase. This thing was not cheap. And it was not cheap to ship from the UK over to the US. I was not ready for that, but I knew started doing this in June, so I guess you gotta learn some things the hard way. But probably already know what it is. I'll show you my copy. I'm totally out, by the way. Should have
Was
started
gonna
with
ask.
gonna be the Nightmare on Elm Street steelbook set, man. This thing is golly. This thing's just a beast, man. It is a beast. I haven't gone through all the movies. I've just been extremely, extremely busy. Thank God. But I did see the first one, and it looks incredible. The 4K, the transfer, amazing. I mean, it's just stacked. I mean, I can't say anything that nobody here has already said. About this thing tonight. You got the 3D glasses for Freddy's Nightmare. Just I'm sorry for New Nightmare. Tons of bonus features, amazing transfer, just beautiful presentation. The only thing that I found kind of weird is that the matte finish on the steelbooks. I thought it would have been like a glossy finish. I think people were talking about that. Like, I mean, it's kind of cool. I guess it kind of like shines a little bit. I don't know if you can see like in the light, like certain parts of it. It is pretty unique. It's pretty original. But I think a little bit of gloss would have been kind of cool. But anyways, that's the only critique I have of it. Every so often, I go on my distributor site to see if it's totally out of print. But I'll go in there every so often and just be like, maybe they found a couple more. But yeah, so anybody out there tuned in that you purchased this from me, thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying it. I mean, I unfortunately in the beginning I was almost giving it away for free between free shipping and coupon codes. I'm like, I looked at the number like, what am I doing? But anyways, that's a whole nother story for another day. But and thank you guys, man. I have a like a watch list of movies on physical media and also like just to stream. And now I have an idea of which ones to watch first. So I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for joining us. I had the Nightmare on Elm Street set on my Christmas list, but I was disappointed this year. So, all right, Matthew.
All right, guys. Well, first I'll just comment on some people's stuff. Definitely highly recommend Grafted and The Ugly Stepsister. So great choices from you guys. I love body horror, so those are some great additions this year. And then also, again, knocking it out with the holiday horror. I love Christmas, Bloody Christmas as well. And obviously, if y'all didn't see it this year, he just did more of the same with Jimmy and Stiggs. That movie was absolutely brilliant. And then something truly unique at the end with the horror tour with DIY filmmaking. If you guys haven't watched Jimmy and Stiggs yet, it is just insanity, and I loved every minute of it. So slashers are my favorite. So my number one, Jason Voorhees, that's my guy. I got the chance a few years ago to meet Kane Hodder, my favorite Jason Voorhees. He put his autograph on there. Tremendous person to be around. Huge fan of Kane Hodder. Really sad that he never got casted in Freddy versus Jason. They really slided him on that one. But my number one movie of the year, again, everyone's talked about it already, is the sophomore effort from the Philippou brothers, Bring Her Back. One thing that I will say that other people haven't touched on, can we talk about Paddington's mom? Okay? Sally Hawkins' turn in this movie is so unhinged. Like how she processes the grief and trauma in this film was absolutely unbelievable. And it's like she's in kids movies and she's in these like normal mom movies and she is absolutely brilliant. It shows her acting range in it. Body horror is absolutely intense at scenes. I also, like many of y'all said, I like these bleak, devastating films. I am one that like when a movie ends and I have to process and it leaves an impact, that movie was impactful. And that's what ultimately made it my number one. And it just, I had some issues with Talk to Me, and Bring Her Back really solidified the Philippou brothers, in my opinion. This is my top of 2025. I had to wait until Anaconda to make my final list. But no, Bring Her Back, number one. Absolutely.
All right, awesome. That concludes our top fives, everybody. Thank you for putting in any time and effort that you did in narrowing down your choices. I finalized mine an hour before we started. after like 2 weeks of making charts and comparing numbers and figuring it out, because that's how I process. All right, so let's go through really quickly. Tell people where they can find you and what you've got coming up. So Aaron, actually, let's start at the bottom and move up towards Aaron. So Tony, why don't you go?
You can find me at valoriavideo.com. I'm also on Instagram, just got on TikTok right now, Facebook, valoriavideo.com, or just type in Valoria Video. Yeah, man, I mean, I always have, almost, yeah, I mean, pretty much every week, new pre-orders available, new releases, new arrivals, restocks, or just things that just came out. So a lot of good things cooking. Please check us out.
Awesome. Matthew.
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Horror Madness 0055, possibly YouTube in the future. Again, I appreciate you guys having me on. Very fun episode doing the top 5 of 2025.
Thanks for joining us. And Jeff.
You can find me, John Doe Juggalo, everywhere there's social media. If you type it in, it pops up. It's me. Thanks for the invite, Tim. I had a lot of fun kind of picking out my top 5s this year. So really enjoyed being on with all you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, Q.
Yes, everyone, Q, the movie collector. You can find me here on YouTube as well as Instagram. Tim, thank you so much. Nice seeing all of you guys again. It's always fun as always. And I've got a stream coming up on New Year's Eve, and a lot of things we talked about tonight I'm going to be giving away in this big pile. So make sure you guys
I see that team
tune in. Yeah. So
Very
there's
cool.
it's a big pile. So I'm hoping you guys tune in. So
awesome. All right, Rich.
Yeah, you could check out Jerry and my podcast, Horror Heads, anywhere you get podcasts, really. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora, YouTube, wherever. We just finished season 2, so we're probably going to kick off season 3 next month sometime. But yeah, check it out. Find us on Instagram at Horror Heads. And you could also check out my latest film that I wrote and directed, Feral, on Tubi right now.
Hell yeah, definitely check out that film. And just like Rich said, we just wrapped season 2. We had a holiday horror cocktail party with some guests. It was a lot of fun, so definitely check that out on YouTube and get ready for season 3. It's going to be bigger and bolder, and we're going to get a little crazier. So Tim, thank you for having us on. And this was such a great panel. You guys are so fun. People I knew from before, people I just met tonight. This was a real pleasure. I hope you have a great holiday.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I know you've had a couple of us on your show too. So if you enjoy Aaron's content, he joined them, I joined them. But yeah, great stuff.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah. First off, Tim, thank you for asking me to come on again. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Alexander, thank you. You can find me over on YouTube, Instagram, a little bit of TikTok, at the Movie Den. Just doing movie reviews and hauls and just talking about film. Coming up, I got, of course, as I'm sure a lot of YouTubers, best of 2025 in whatever category. So that's coming up. So that's probably going to take place most of the first week of January. But yeah, other than that, that's really all I have right now for you guys. So that's it.
All right, Chris.
Well, first of all, man, thank you for the invite on doing this. This was a ton of fun. Thank you, everyone, for doing this. This was awesome. Yeah, as always, Bearded Film Guy over on Instagram. You can find the Beyond the Blood podcast wherever you find podcasts. We're getting ready to kick off season 3 in January. Really coming up, honestly, the biggest thing is this coming February, I'm going to be co-hosting the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards, which is the physical media award show hosted by Ryan from The Disconnected. So that's going to be kicking off in February. And yeah, a whole bunch of other fun stuff that I don't want to reveal quite yet. So thank you as always, Tim.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Kelsey.
Thanks again, Tim, for having me. It's been a pleasure to discover this community in 2025. You know, if you guys know, I talk mostly about books. Today, I kind of veered away from that and I talked about movies. And that's because my channel, I really do focus on books a lot. So it was kind of nice. And it's been nice every time I come on here to talk movies because I've actually been a longer time film fan than I have a book fan, which is funny. But if you're looking for a great winter read, just because I feel weird we didn't talk about books, December by Phil Rickman. If you love the Beatles, a really huge part of that book is about the assassination of John Lennon. And if you're like a Beatles fan, that's December 8th. 1980 was the day he was assassinated. So, right when he was 40 years old. But that has like a big part in the book. It's also got like a lot of musical elements in the book. Super slow burn, but really fun. And it doesn't have to be read in December, but it's technically set during December/winter time, so it would work. You could end out the year with that and bring it into January, whatevs. Anyway, that's my pick for that. Jerry, I can't believe you didn't mention Christmas Evil. I was hoping to put this across the screen to make it fly. It's from Christmas Evil.
It was probably number 7, I would say.
Oh my God, that's my number 1. It's Christmas Evil. And that's more of a drama, in my opinion, than a pure horror, but a great character study. But thanks so much for having me. Check me out on Slime and Slashers. I will be more active, hopefully, in the new year. I'm a little discouraged lately, but I'm going to get back to it. So check me out there if you want.
Keep at it. All right, Aaron.
Yes, I'll make it quick. Well, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you, Tim, for having me. It's been nice chatting with all of you. I love your picks. Aaron here from A&B Horror Movies. Upcoming, I've got Madeline Doherty, who did a new film called Faye. If you haven't seen it, check that out. I also interviewed the directors of Dream Eater. That's coming soon. I talked with Mickey Keating and Joe Swanberg about their new film Invader. That's coming up. Meat Kills with Martijn Smit. Fantastic film, Dutch film, if you haven't seen it. And Mannequin with John Berardo, just to name a few. I think I've got 8 other recorded at the moment. But stay tuned. Those will be coming soon on my YouTube channel. And thank you again one last time. This has been awesome.
Yes. And thank all of you for taking the time during the busy holiday season to sit down, hang out on this stream for about 2.5 hours. We have Jessica Lacey to thank for this happening because she's been pressuring me since I met her to do a best of the year episode. And I was dragging my feet, but I was like, you know what? Dread Broadcast is the perfect format for it. So this is it for the year for the Dread Broadcast. Thank you all for coming out and supporting my little idea to create a community around a genre that brings together the physical, the collectors, the readers, and everything into one zone, so that if you came here because of you're a fan of one of these creators, hopefully you walk away being a fan of more of these creators. I love seeing you guys get to interact with each other and popping onto each other's shows. It's fantastic. So thank you guys for making this first. It's not even a complete year because I think we started in like April, but I'm going to call it a year. So thank you. We will be back in January with more, also kicking off the season 4 of my show, The Average Reviews. And we're actually kicking it off. Usually do my favorite film of 2020 of the previous year as our first. So we'll be doing Bring Her Back. If any of you want to hop in and join us on Bring Her Back, you are more than welcome. Shoot me a message, but that'll be our first of the year. So again, you are all awesome. Hopefully, if you're still in the chat watching, go follow these people. Check out their content. They're all amazing. Thank you all so much for being out here. Truly, I appreciate it more than you will know. So that's it for 2025. We will see you in 2026.